What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video, it's been a minute, but I got a package. So we just gonna get straight into it, man. This is a pair of sneakers that I recently bought. Last year, I got pretty comfortable with the idea of doing unboxing videos every time I get a new pair of shoes in, because as you guys know, and as you could tell from my background, if you didn't know, I love shoes. I've been collecting sneakers for, wow, I'm getting old. For about 15 years, I'd say at this point. I'd say I'd seriously started collecting sneakers in 2011. I've always loved shoes. I've always loved trying to get fly. I've always loved clothes, everything like that. But I would say I became a collector in 2011. And man, time flies. So anyway, long before I was ever a content creator, I've always been a sneaker collector, right? And I would talk about my sneakers from time to time, and I've done like a couple of like collection videos or pickup videos or things like that or whatever. But last year was the first time where I really was like, every time I get a new pair of shoes, I'm gonna make a video talking about it. And then you fast forward to 2026, it's almost August. I haven't made a single one of those videos because, much to my surprise and probably some of yours, I haven't bought a single pair of shoes this year until now. Now, if you have been watching these videos, you know that I was saying that last year it was like one of the best times ever in my life to be a sneaker collector. Maybe the best time ever, because everything was just so accessible. Everything was just so available. Like, I've lived through so many different like eras, it feels like, with sneaker culture, and it feels like the overhype of sneakers has like died down a lot, to the point where if you're just a true lover of sneakers and kicks, they're easier than ever to get your hands on if you got the bread. I guess in that sense, sneakers have always been obtainable if you got the bread. What I mean is, like, if you could afford retail price for a pair of shoes, you can have the shoes. Now, there's a whole other conversation to be had about the retail price sneakers right now, because you look at a pair of shoes like we have here today, which I want to say they retailed at like $215, which is a lot more than a pair of shoes like this was going for retail price back in like 2011. But another conversation for another day. That being said, I didn't pay $215 for these. So we can keep talking about that stuff, but what pair of shoes do we actually have in here today? Well, they're not anything particularly special maybe to you, and they're not particularly special to me, but it's a pair that I've been wanting that released late last year. You might recognize them by this box, you might not, you know what I'm saying? However, in this box, I have the Air Jordan 5 Retro OG, white, medium soft pink, and black. Let me just go ahead and I want to say that these released last year, and it was late 2025, so like October, November, something like that. And when they dropped, I wanted them, but me just being aware of what like the climate is right now with sneakers, I was like, that's not a shoe that I have to jump on right away. I'll be able to get those down the line. And that's kind of been my mindset for a while now and all throughout this year, which is why there's been so many pairs of sneakers that I've just passed on, because I know they're going to be obtainable. Now, obviously you don't want to wait too long, because the market is unpredictable. Even though we are in like a low period right now as far as like reselling goes and like resale prices, you know, you slack too hard, certain things will just randomly spike up. You know, all it takes is for one random celebrity or one TikTok to go viral or whatever, and all of a sudden a shoe that was only $100 costs $500, $600, $700. I've seen it time and time and time again. Niggas was paying $400 for Panta Dunks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen some crazy shit, and that's not even the craziest one. But regardless, let's go ahead and get these out the box. This is a pair of shoes, like I said, they retail for $215, but I passed on because like, I'm not gonna have to spend that type of money to get this shoe if I want them. People ain't really sweating these like that. A lot of people don't even really care about this colorway like that, and I'm not even a big Jordan 5 guy typically. I mean, I've got my fair share of pairs. I got the grapes, I got the metallics, I got the Oreos, the stealths. I had the Raging Bulls, I let them go. I kind of want them back. Fire Red's still on the way, but I don't know, man. I just love this color, and that doesn't come a shock to any of you, I'm sure, if you're familiar with me. But I love the color pink. We have the medium soft pink Air Jordan 5. And I mean, like I said, I know these might not be anything super special if the camera would focus on the shoe. These might not be anything super special to a lot of you guys, but I just think this is a super dope, very clean colorway. I love the color pink. I think black and pink is a super dope color combo. And yeah, I just wanted these since they came out. But like I said, you know what's funny? I debated for a long time about buying these, not when they first dropped out, but after, you know, a couple weeks, couple months maybe of them being out, I saw them on sale. They did retail for about $215. I saw them on sale for $160 or $170 or something like that. And I added them to my cart on, I don't even remember what website. It might have been like Soul Play. It could have been Shoe Palace. Maybe it was both. I don't know. Because again, this is a colorway that like didn't sell out right away. They weren't like super sought after. They weren't super hyped up or anything like that. I just really liked them, so I wanted them. And I debated, and I was like, I don't need them. And the thing about it as well is like, there's so many other shoes that are out that have dropped or about to drop, where if I'm going to spend close to $200, I probably would rather have those. You know what I mean? And so lo and behold, I just kept biding my time and biding my time. And we've had so many releases this year that I kept passing on and passing on and passing on. I was like, there's certain shoes that I want and I'm willing to pay a certain price, and there's other shoes that like I want and I'm willing to pay that price, but if I'm gonna spend that type of money, there's something else I would rather get. So I got to be able to get them for a certain deal in order for me to spend the money. And it wasn't anything about this shoe that was like so special that like, oh, this had to be my first pickup of the year finally after all this time. It was more so that just like after 7 months, almost 8 months of not buying a shoe, I was just kind of like, I was kind of just getting that itch, man. So I was looking around, I was deal hunting, and I wasn't looking for anything in particular. I was just kind of seeing what was out there, and I came across these for $100. Now, you might not have noticed at first, but this pair is not brand new. These are secondhand, but I mean, they are in immaculate condition. I mean, you know, a little bit of elbow grease, just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little scrub a dub, they're gonna look basically brand new again. I mean, they still do look pretty much brand new as is. So for $100, that was a price that I was more than happy to pick these up for and add them to my collection. Like I said, there's a lot of shoes I kind of want to spin the block on that released in 2025. I still want the Cave Stone Jordan 4s. I still need the Black Tongue Fire Red 5s, Tokyo Jordan 5s, the Shattered Backboard 1s are like dumb cheap. It's funny too with the Shattered Backboards because that's a sneaker that I always thought was supremely overrated. I never thought that they were ugly, right? Me calling them overrated doesn't mean that I don't like them and I think they're ugly, but I never thought that they were all that. So that was a shoe that, even though I'm a huge lover of Jordan 1s and I have a lot of pairs in my collection, as y'all who are familiar with me know, I never thought that they were worth the money that they were going for, and they only got more and more expensive over time. But now, since the re-release, they're worth almost nothing. Like, you can find those well below retail, and that's another shoe where it's like, I want them, but if I get them, I want to pay like $100 for them. So if I find a pair for like $100 in my size, I'll scoop them up, but I'm in no rush, no hurry to get them, because it's not a colorway that I ever was like super over the moon for anyway. You know, orange, it's cool. It's not really like one of my colors though, you know what I'm saying? Now pink, I love me some pink. But yeah, I had a list of shoes that dropped in 2025 that I either passed on or just didn't, you know, jump on right away, but I kind of wanted to spin the block on. That's kind of like how I refer to it. I'm gonna spin the block on that pair. And this was one of those pairs. So I get those finally knocked off the list for less than half the retail price in basically brand new condition. I mean, as you can see, there's no scuffs, no marks. I mean, the bottoms are still pretty icy. They're a little dusty. They're a little dusty, but like I said, just a little bit of elbow grease. We get these right back brand new. There's actually a new product that I recently got hip to that I can't believe is not more talked about and more known and more prevalent in the sneaker community that I might mention in this video. And I might even make a whole separate video talking about because I'm so mind blown by it. I'm gonna go ahead and say the name. It's called the New Antidote. If you're not familiar with it, it's the truth. I've been using it on some shoes that I got around the crib. And if you're somebody who knows anything about restoring sneakers, deoxidizing soles, removing yellowing from rubber, anything like that, it's pretty crazy what it's capable of. I've never seen anything like it. It's better than any other product I have ever used. And I've tried everything from Siglo to Retro Bright to Soul Sauce to the Rejuvenator Sauce. I've been in the game, like I said, as a serious collector since 2011. I've been around, seen a lot, tried a lot of different products. I've never seen anything like this. Not paid, not sponsored, whatever. It's like, we ain't even gonna get into the details of it right now. I'm just letting you know the name right now. So if you just want to go ahead and jump on and look into it yourself, feel free. But like, it's the truth. Regardless, so far in 2026, there's been a lot of shoes that have released that I want, but I'm just like, they not gonna sell out. And even if they do, they going below retail. You know what I'm saying? Like if I just sit here and think about it, right? The Band Jordan 1 Low, you know what I'm saying? The Bread Jordan 1, as some of you guys know, is my favorite sneaker of all time. And the Band pair from 2011 is like what I would consider one of my all-time like holy grails. Never owned that pair, would love to. The Lows, I would say, are a pretty cool constellation. You can get those for like $100 or less. So that's a pair that I might go ahead and grab at some point. You got the olive Jordan 1 Lows, the medium olives, I think they are. I think those are super, super dope. I want those as well. Those are going like super cheap. Like I said, Black Tongue Fire Red 5s from last year, Cave Stone Jordan 4s, Tokyo 5s, another sneaker much like the undefeated Jordan 4 that re-released last year, is like mind-blowing to me that got a retro, let alone as accessible and as available as it is. Now those are a little bit pricier. Those aren't going for under retail, but being able to get a pair of those for like $300 compared to like $1,000 is crazy to me. We just got a retro of the Myro Jordan 7s, the Myro Olympic Jordan 7s. And again, that was a sneaker that like was going for hundreds, if not close to $1,000. Now you can get them for $200 to $300. You know what I'm saying? People ain't really sweating those like that. I always thought that shoe was super, super dope, and a pair that I may not ever get a chance to own. And now I can. And I didn't even try to get them right away. And that's a shoe that maybe I should have. But again, I'm not worried about it because I don't see the price going up, bro. Even things like the Off-White Alaska Jordan 1s, a shoe that was well over $1,000, you can get them in my size for about $400 to $500, which obviously that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so much more obtainable and so much more realistic to like get a hold of than it was prior. And you know, I'm not made of money. That's another big reason why I haven't been buying sneakers as much this year, just because it take a toll on the old wallet. You know what I'm saying? Your boy didn't had to make some financial decisions that included not buying so many pairs of shoes. But I love being a sneakerhead and being a sneaker collector right now, because there's never in my lifetime, I don't think there's ever been a better time to be in the kicks, because there's just so many releases where it's like, if you are willing and able to spend the bread, like you can get what you want for retail or less pretty easily. Flint 13s is dropping this year. I want those. The Oreo Jordan 6 is retro this year. I love those. Those originally dropped back in 2010. I loved them back then. I love them now. I came to find out, it was news to me, a lot of people do not like that sneaker. Cool. All that means to me is that shoe probably wasn't going to sell out anyway, but they probably going to end up at the outlets. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely going to be a shoe where I'm going to be able to get those way under retail. So even though my love for kicks has not died down or dwindled and my passion hasn't gone anywhere, I have been more selective with the pairs that I'm purchasing and been passing on a lot of stuff just because I know that I don't have to pay retail price for it. And like, to me, that's a beautiful thing, especially because, you know, going back to a conversation we were touching on earlier, retail price for kicks is very different now than what it was back when I got into the game. You know what I'm saying? Like a pair of Jordan 1s was like $110 back then. I guess technically when they started doing the retro high OG, it was like, that was in 2013 when they started bringing back, you know, the Breads, the Royals, the Shadows, all this stuff. I want to say they were like $130. Now they're $180. That's a $50 increase. Even a shoe like this at $215, that's a pretty big jump as well, because I want to say retros were going for $160 to $170 for like a Jordan 5 back in 2011. I know the metallic 5s dropped back then. They came in like the you know, the old like silver and black box. I'm pretty sure those were about $170 tops, you know, plus tax and shipping if you order them online, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Again, that's a significant jump. And I think the I want to say the Space Jam 11s, those were $175 retail, I want to say, when those retro back in 2009. And they retro this year for about $235, I think. And there was rumored to be $250 or like $255, but then that kind of got like pulled back because everyone was like, come on, man, y'all tripping, y'all just doing too much. Or maybe that was just a false rumor in the first place. But regardless, yeah, so it's just like retail price of sneakers nowadays for a lot of these shoes are the price that we were paying resale for a lot of stuff back then. Because I remember, like, you know, for example, like a pair of Shadow Jordan 1s in 2013, they retail for about, you know, 130 plus tax, 140, whatever. And then, you know, they was reselling for like, you know, like $180 to $200 after they had sold out. And now, like I said, a retro Jordan 1 high OG is $180 retail. So it's funny to see how rapid the inflation has been and everything like that. And obviously inflation is a thing, like that's not lost on me, but the price of products is like going up higher than like the real price of inflation is, and it certainly ain't going in line with how much money people are making. You know what I'm saying? So inflation is real, is definitely a thing. A lot of it is also just greed at the end of the day, because I mean, and we all know it, you paying for the name and you paying for a lot more than what the shoe is probably worth at the end of the day, right? Because it ain't costing Nike and Jordan $100 to make these, but it is what it is. I don't dwell on that type of thing too much, just as a true lover of sneakers. I guess we go ahead and talk about the shoe a little bit. I've been doing a lot of yapping, not a lot talking about the actual sneaker. Like I said, I don't think this is a sneaker that too many of y'all gonna really care about anyway, but I just figured since I finally bought a pair of shoes this year, I would update y'all on them and talk about some kicks a little bit and show them and whatnot. Because like I said, it's not that these are super special, it's just I finally bought some shoes this year, so let's take a look at them. So like I said, this is the medium soft pink Jordan 5. Let's start with the outsole. You can see you have those black hits of rubber with the icy translucent outsole and a medium soft pink Jumpman under the sole. A little bit dusty, but I'll go ahead, clean these up. They'll look good as new. Then moving on up to the midsole, you can see obviously that translucent rubber outsole peeking through with the medium soft pink shark teeth, and then the rest of the midsole as well as the toe cap all done in black. And then here on the heel, you can see you have the 23, which is not a super common feature on Jordan 5s. Some pairs have it, some pairs don't, with a little shadow. So you have the pink 23 with the black shadow, which I think looks really cool. And another feature that they added to this, which I think is interesting how easily they throw this on shoes nowadays, is the stitched pink Nike Air. Nike Air feels like it was one of those things that was super special back when I got into collecting sneakers, because you pretty much had to get like first retros or original pairs of sneakers when it came to 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s in order to get those pairs with Nike Air, even with the Jordan 1, right? And so it was a pretty big deal back in the day when they started bringing pairs out, starting I want to say in 2013, where it had Nike Air, like the 88 white cement 3s, which is the pair that I have right there from 2013, or like I said, the 2013 Jordan 1 Bread, Royal, Shadow, and then they went on to start doing, you know, more and more pairs, because even as far back or as not as far back. Like you go from 2013 to 2012, they brought back a lot of like 3s and 4s from 2011 to 2012, like the True Blues, the white cements, the bread 4s, the white cement 4s, black cements, and none of those had Nike Air. It's just one of those features that like it doesn't make or break the shoe for me, but I did always think that the Nike Air kind of looked nicer, you know, on those retro models than the Jumpman does. Not that the Jumpman looks bad. Obviously, I don't think the Jumpman looks bad. Otherwise, I wouldn't own so many pair of Jordans, right? But it was kind of cool. But nowadays, you know, it felt like it was reserved for those original colorways. It didn't really get thrown on too many, you know, just random colorways like this. If it did get thrown on a non-OG colorway, it was usually like a collab or an exclusive pair, like a Off-White or Travis Scott, so something of that caliber, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it feels like these last couple of years, they kind of just throw it on whatever they see fit. Like they threw it on the Undefeated 4s. They threw, which, you know, that to me, that's still a really special pair. They threw it on these. I think the Cave Stones got Nike Air on the back. It's just a lot of random retros and new colorways that they throw it on. And I don't know how I feel about it entirely. Like they do kind of throw it on some bullshit at times, I ain't gonna lie. But if it's a colorway that I like, then obviously I prefer it that way. So I'm not too mad at it. I don't know how any of y'all out there feel as sneakerheads or fellow sneaker collectors, if I got some of y'all watching the video, but I'm appreciative of it. I'm pretty appreciative of it. But anyway, then the entire upper is done in this. I don't really know what to call this. It's a 3M, right? It is reflective, and if I can, I'll try to get you guys some B-roll footage. But I initially thought that this was just all white leather, and it wasn't until I saw a pair of these in person for the first time that I realized that it wasn't what I thought, because the tongue on Jordan 5s, we can go ahead and look at the tongue on this, is done in like this silver reflective material, right? That's pretty common on Jordan 5s. Not every single pair has it, but it's like one of the original defining traits and characteristics and features of the Jordan 5. And as you can see, this one also features a pink Jumpman, right? Then you have like the clear netting, the white laces. You have this translucent lace lock with the pink, you know, actual lace lock inside. But yeah, so the entire upper is made of a very similar material as the tongue, but just in white. So I guess we will just call it 3M. It's very reminiscent of the you guys remember in the original Raging Bull pack from, is it 2009, we had the Toros, the all red pair, then you had the 3M pair. It's kind of like that. I think also there's another pair that recently released in the last few years. That's a pair of 5s, I think, that's in a very similar material. Either way, this is a pair that could lend itself to some creases, and I can see some slight creases here. Like I said, this pair is secondhand, but they're very gentle. You see a little bit of creasing up here. I'm not too worried about that. I buy my shoes so that they pretty much fit, not that they're like tight on my feet, but so that they fit, you know what I'm saying? I got a little bit of wiggle room, but not enough to where like, you know, my feet are swimming in them, you know what I'm saying? I know some people like their shoes loose, some people like them, they go half size down because they like them tighter, whatever. I buy my shoes so that they kind of like just, to me, they fit right on my foot. But yeah, white netting, you know, silver on the tongue, pink accents all over. You got the pink sock liner as well. Black insole with the white Nike Air. I don't know if we can get a decent look at that on the camera. Let's see, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, still looks pretty brand new in there. As I said, these have been worn, but they're basically brand new. You know what I'm saying? The size sticker in there ain't even been worn off yet. So actually it's not a size sticker. Normally there's a sticker that says like, oh, size 11, which is what size these are, but there's a sticker that says upper contains synthetic leather, which, I mean, we knew that. But yeah, man, medium soft pink Jordan 5s. I'm gonna go ahead. I never even pulled out the other shoe. I just unboxed these for the first time. I didn't even make sure to double check that the other shoe was decent. But as I'm giving them a little look over, look like we all good. I don't see no issues. They look just as good as the other shoe. But yeah, medium soft pink Jordan 5s. Like I said, something light, just a light little pickup to add to the collection. I don't know how many more pairs I'll be picking up this year, but I got my eyes on some. Like I said, I have some other priorities, responsibilities, and I've just been kind of letting a lot of stuff go by just because there's no rush. There's no rush right now, and it feels like a lot of times the longer I wait, the better deal that I get. Like I said, these retail for $215. I got them for $100 flat. You can't beat that. Can't beat that. And again, in basically brand new condition. These might have been worn once or twice. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be shocked if these were worn literally one time. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead, throw a little elbow grease on these, and they're gonna look basically brand new again. And I can't wait to throw these on foot for myself. So yeah, man, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of these? Y'all feeling them? You got any new pickups this year that you've been really excited about? Anything you're looking forward to? I know we still got some pretty big releases coming throughout this year. Like I said, I got my eyes on a few. Jordan 1 Royals I'm gonna pass on, not just because like, oh, I don't, you know, I still got the 2017s and I'm just not worried about them. I do want the Space Jams, And that's one pair where I might actually have to try to get them because they probably will sell out and resell for a little bit because it's a little different with Jordan 11s. But Oreo 6s, I really want those. Probably gonna let those sit. Jordan 13 Flints, I really want those. Probably gonna let those sit because I just feel like those are pairs that like I ain't gonna have to break my neck to get them. And if I'm just patient, I can get a pair later down the line, brand new for under retail, or a secondhand pair for $100 probably. Especially them Oreos. I know Cats is not sweating them Oreos, which I'm happy about because I love Jordan 6s. It's one of my favorite silhouettes. Anyway, went off on a little rambling tangent again. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all this content that I'm bringing you. With all that being said, it's pretty much off today. Remember, let the cap into you swing the bat. Later.